Hey guys, so I know I'm about a week late after seeing it, but it's time for my Captain Marvel review, and this time it's going to be a spoiler review because, like I said, it's been out a week now, and if you're someone who's really into Marvel, you've probably seen it by now, and if you haven't, then don't watch this video until you've seen it. Like, I'll put spoiler warnings up, and you can watch it when you've seen it, or if you just want to watch it anyway and you don't give a fuck about the movie, then go ahead, do what you want to do, but I would say don't watch this video until you've seen Captain Marvel, and then once you've seen it, you can watch it, unless you've already seen it, in which case this is also for you. So anyway, let's get started, and before I go any further with it, I just want to say I won't be talking about any of the online sort of culture war that this movie has sparked, and that many other movies with like female leads or diverse leads, like non-whites, have started, because one, I think it's bullshit, and two, it doesn't have anything to do with the movie, so why the fuck am I talking about it? Like, Chris Stuckman, a critic that I quite admire, once said, I think it was the Days of Future Past video, because at that point there was a lot of allegations about Bryan Singer, which that whole thing has not aged well, because at that point it's that's all I'll say is, like, what he said was, if you review a movie and you spend all the time talking about like allegations against the director, then what if someone 10, 15, 20 years in the future finds an old video of that review on YouTube or whatever will be around in 20 years, whether it's YouTube or whatever. What if they find it and it's a review of a movie but not talking anything about the movie? So like, you know about the controversy around the movie but you don't know anything about the movie, then like, what's the point of watching the review, and what's the point of watching the movie? I just think it's detrimental to the movie, and also I just think it's bullshit. Like, that being said, overall I like Captain Marvel. Like, I know a lot of people who don't like it, but I didn't mind it. Like, it's not the best MCU movie. Like, it's nowhere near Infinity War or Civil War or Winter Soldier or Ragnarok or anything like that. But it's nowhere near Iron Man 2 or Thor: The Dark World or what else? Yes, it's like, it's nowhere near the bottom of the pile either. It's comfortably mid-table, upper mid-table maybe, depending on how my opinion changes through a couple of viewings, because that always tends to happen with movies. But overall, I'm going to go into what I didn't like first. The script is a bit messy, and I can kind of understand why, because this movie had a lot of jobs to do. Like, it had to set up one of the most important MCU characters going forward into Phase 4, which is Captain Marvel. She's, from what we're being told, one of the major players in the MCU in the future. So you have to set her up, you have to set up why she's going to be integral to Avengers Endgame. You need to tell a good story, you need to and then you also need to set up potential future avenues they could go down, aka Skrulls and aka the Kree. So you have to set up an entire sort of subsect of the cinematic universe, this cosmic area, the cosmic side of it that sort of goes into Guardians territory, but also make it fitted into Earth as well. So like, it just had a lot of jobs to do, and it had a lot of things to be, and well, I think it is all of those things, partially. I think having to be all of those things sort of dilutes certain elements. Like, I don't think certain elements of the movie were as developed as they could have been, and a lot of characters aren't as developed as they could have been, especially on the Kree side. Like, you have her original team of like Kree soldiers and whatnot, Jude Law's crew or whatever. Outside of like Jude Law, who doesn't even get that much character development other than he's kind of like a mentor figure to Captain Marvel, none of them really get enough character development to really give a shit. Like, the only one that you'll probably remember is Korath, and that's because he turns up in the first Guardians movie. Like, this movie, like, when it comes to the Kree, you know, there's like, did they really need to put certain people in there? Like, it didn't add anything to the characters, especially Ronan, the Accuser. Like, he, like, in the first Guardians movie, he's not a great villain. He doesn't get that much character development, and a lot of people are kind of excited, like, oh, he's coming back in this, and he might get character development that helps him as a villain overall, you know, but he doesn't. He's not in it for very long. He doesn't really do anything, and it's kind of disappointing. In terms of the human characters, Carol, Captain Marvel's Earth's best friend, like, she's a cool character on paper, but I don't think that connection is as emotionally fulfilling as it should be. Maybe in future movies it will be. Like, I think this was an okay start point, but I think the character of Captain Marvel can go much further than this in the future. I would actually take it back to sort of similar to Chris Evans. Like, everyone loves Captain America now, but be honest with me right now. Honestly, look me in the eyes and tell me Captain America was your favourite Avenger before Winter Soldier. You can't say that. He wasn't anyone's favourite Avenger before Winter Soldier. He wasn't even my favourite Avenger before Winter Soldier. Like, I'm absolutely Team Cap now, but it took a couple movies for Chris Evans to really hit the mark. And even then, I don't even know if it's hit the mark. It just, you know, they didn't get the character 100% perfect until the second movie. So, like, give Captain Marvel a bit of time overall, because one of the things I really liked was Brie Larson's performance. I always knew she'd be good in the role, because she's a tremendous actress. If you've seen her in things like Short Term 12 or especially Room, where she won an Oscar, like, she is a really damn good actress, and Marvel are always really good with casting. Like, I don't even know if you could pinpoint, do a top, like, you can, like, they've just always gotten really well with casting, and this is no exception. I think she's really, really good in this movie. I think the script as well lets her down. You know, there is a major plot hole in the movie, and that is the fact that the Tesseract appears, and there's no real explanation as to why it got in the movie, because it's been drilled into our heads through 3 phases now that the Tesseract was on Earth in the first Captain America movie, and it was with him when he crashed into the Arctic, and then it was found by Howard Stark, and that's how S.H.I.E.L.D. got it. Like, I didn't mind that the Tesseract was in there. Like, I liked that element of it, like the fact that she got her powers from an Infinity Stone. But it's just that I think it needed just one line or two of just exposition to explain, okay, this is how it got here. Then there wouldn't be any, you know, people bitching about it. Kind of like in The Dark Knight Rises, when it's just like, just give a line or even a tiny scene as to how Bruce Wayne got back into Gotham from that hole in the ground in the desert or whatever, and then no one would complain. But, yeah, so I've gone on about what I didn't like. What I did like was the character dynamics, especially what they did with Nick Fury in this movie. I fucking love Nick Fury in this movie. It's nothing of the Nick Fury that we've seen since the first Iron Man movie. Like, he has both eyes, he has hair. the de-aging technology on Samuel L. Jackson's movie is downright incredible. Like, he looks the entire movie like he's just walked off the set of Jurassic Park. There was not a moment in that movie where the de-aging CGI looks in any way unconvincing. Like, I forgot that Samuel L. Jackson is like 80 in real life. It was that damn good CGI. And where they took his character, where it was like, you can definitely tell it's such a different take on Nick Fury. He's more comedic, he's more bumbling. Like, he's still a good agent. Like, he isn't incompetent. He has more sense of humor to him. Like, he seems a more innocent person. And this really feels like just a really different take on it. And from Samuel L. Jackson's performance, you can tell there wasn't a hint of him feeling, they're degrading the character or something. Like, he was happy to be there. And his dynamic with Captain Marvel was really fun. They had a great buddy cop sort of dynamic. And this really felt like as close as we're going to get to a Nick Fury prequel. And I know some people are going to be annoyed about how they handled Fury in this movie, especially the truth about how Fury lost his eye, because it had been built up, sort of, or hinted at throughout all the other movies that he's been in, that, he lost that eye in something serious. Like, you see the reveal of what his eye looks like in Winter Soldier, and it's all scratched and clawed, and it looks really cool. And then in this movie we find out, it was from a space cat. Who, by the way, that cat was fucking amazing. And it was played for laughs rather than anything serious. I know some people are going to be annoyed at that, because one of the criticisms about Marvel is that they're very joke heavy, which I don't mind, because I enjoy the Marvel sense of humour. Certain other franchises will be very ham-fisted in their humour. Like, when DC did humour for Justice League, it just didn't feel like it was in the right place. Like, with Marvel, they have a great flow with the humour. With DC, it was more, we fit a joke in here, even though it doesn't really fit the sort of tone of the scene. And it just feels out of place because, it was Joss Whedon jokes mixed with Zack Snyder theming or whatever. But that's a different discussion for whenever I do a Justice League review, if I ever do a Justice League review. But, I don't mind the humour, and I kind of like the idea that Nick Fury's sort of, the legend of Nick Fury within the MCU is kind of built on bullshit lies. Like, there's that scene at the very end where Coulson was talking to him and he's like, did you really lose your eye in, like, a fight with an alien? And he's just like, was it torture, like you wouldn't give information so they burnt your eye out or something as a form of torture? And he's like, I can't deny or not deny it. Like, I can't be honest or whatever. And it's like, so essentially it's just setting Nick Fury up as this sort of bullshit artist, which I like. Like, it would have been it's so easy to make Samuel L. Jackson be a badass, but there's a hint of realism to it. Like, how many of us have had something happen to us and then people don't know the truth of it, so you sort of spin it to make yourself look cooler. Like, that's a very human thing. And I like the idea that Fury's myth and backstory was kind of like, I did this, it's not actually how it happened, but like, because no one else knows it, because obviously Carol went off to God knows where in the universe fighting Kree. But, so I like that sort of bullshit artist element, because it hopefully will come back into the movies at some point. Like, I just want a scene in which Iron Man, Tony Stark, finds out that Nick Fury lost his eye because of a cat. Like, that will be a beautiful, beautiful scene. Because that's just what the MCU kind of is. Like, the action's cool and everything, but what I love about the MCU is the banter between the characters. Like, that is such an integral part. Like, to be honest, I'm more looking forward to, like the chemistry between characters in Endgame that haven't had scenes ever together, like Rocket and Iron Man, or Rocket and Bruce Banner, or whatever. Just the characters are what bring me to MCU movies, not even the action or anything like that. That's just being honest. But so enough talk about Nick Fury. Let's get on to Captain Marvel herself, because because Brie Larson, like I said, did a great job, and I know some people are really against, the girl power feminist message to it, which I think is ridiculous. Like, yeah, there is a feministic theme, but like, it's not, most of the time it's not beating you over the head. Like, there's maybe one or two moments where it's a tiny bit ham-fisted, but like, it's not, all the men in the movie are just like, oh, you can't do this because you're a woman, chauvinistic, oh. Like, there's none of that bullshit. It's just like, oh, there's a fight scene where, like, some 90s song, like a girl, I think. Like, I don't know half the songs in this. Like, the soundtrack is good, and I really did like the sort of 90s callbacks in the movie. Like, they were fun. But I was born in 97, so, like, I'm not old enough to really get the 90s callback sort of Easter eggs. Like, maybe my older sister, but obviously my older sister, there's a reason she's older. But, she's gonna kill me for that. Yeah, so, like I said, the Easter eggs and all, grand. Captain Marvel, a really good character. I think she will grow into that role more, and I think once she gets better written movies behind her, I don't think there'll be such a sort of hate towards her. Well, obviously there's going to be hate towards her by fucking assholes on the internet who hate women, but, that can't be helped, it can, but it's not going to be. But, so, overall, like I said, I enjoyed Captain Marvel. Not my favourite MCU movie, but far, far, far from my least favourite. Like, it's grand. Like, if you're in the mood for a fun space adventure / buddy cop movie, this is your ticket. I'm always game for a space adventure movie, so this was always going to be my cup of tea no matter what. And overall, I'm going to say 7 out of 10. It's a nice sort of appetizer towards Endgame. I'm really looking forward to the sort of, like I said, culture war, people online hating this movie versus people hating this movie. I'm really looking forward to all that bullshit dying down so we can all just enjoy Endgame. And I'm really looking forward to Endgame. So I'm just glad that, like, we have Captain Marvel out of the way, and there's nothing between us and Endgame now except Shazam. But that's another video. Not even the same thing, but you know what I mean. So, like, and on the subject of Endgame, just before I finished all my mumble jumble ramblings, between now and the time Endgame comes out, which is it's like April 26th, so it's a month, 43 days. We have about 43 days between now and Endgame coming out, and I'm going to try and do a video review for each MCU movie between now and then. Obviously this is the review for Captain Marvel. I won't be doing another video like this because I've just gone through my views on Captain Marvel. There's no real point. It will be in chronological order within the MCU, so it won't be the standard start with Iron Man and go down to Infinity War. I'll be taking it in a slightly different order. My first review will be the first Captain America movie because in terms of the MCU timeline, that's the first movie to watch in the order of the universe, the events within the universe. So like I said, it won't be the standard. This was the first movie released by Marvel in the MCU. Down forward, like, it will just be, if it happened before a certain movie in the universe, then I will do that movie, even if it wasn't released beforehand. So like this is technically the second in chronological order, even though it's so far in. But anyway, like I said, hopefully you'll enjoy those MCU reviews coming up. I'll have other reviews that I'm hopefully going to post the same day as filming this. I'm going to try to do a big sort of, what, I can't think of the word, but just a bang review hit list of movies that I've seen recently that I want to review. This is the first one. Hopefully they'll be up by the end of the day, depending on when I can get all these shot and uploaded, and hopefully the Wi-Fi is good to me today. So hope you enjoy that. Hope you enjoy my videos. If you do, press like and subscribe. If not, okay. Anyway, bye.